Oy vey. This one's a doozy. All right. Make sure YouTube has caught up with the programming that I have. Good morning, everybody. All right. Hello. Good morning. Probably going to be seeing a lot of me today, you guys. Unfortunately, I know some of you are happy about that. Some of you are probably not. Anyways, you guys get me from now until about 11:30, and then I will be joining Adam. Well, Adam Francisco will be joining me. Now, Adam has gone out and done a bunch of street interviews. His content's awesome. And so I get to link up with him in Florida in a couple of weeks. And another surprise person. I have, like you guys, I'm so excited for the future here in the near future. So many cool people will be joining me. This week we have Adam Francisco. And then next week we have Scott Nugent. Oh my God, it's so crazy, right? I'm so excited for that. And then I'll be working with Adam again down in Tampa and somebody else, but I'm not allowed to tell you yet. I'm really excited about this one, though. Huge, huge, huge. So, the reason why I'm here this morning is because, I wanted to do the Tucker Carlson files like in order, but I've been gone. I've been doing some incognito stuff with Pride and everything else. I want to get this point out there really quickly. Look, the left, they're always going to call you these trigger words. Either you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're a homophobe, you're a transphobe, blah, blah, blah. Guess what it does for me? It goes in one ear and if it even makes it there into one, but it goes out the other ear because they're full of hot air. They just want to silence you. They don't want the truth out there, right? I don't care. Let me tell you, this is, I think, 1,009 times that I've said this, but I'll say it 1,009 more times if I have to. I don't care if you're a grown adult. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you want to have surgically install a tail onto your rear end. I don't care. As long as you're not messing with kids, we're cool. I don't care who you want to sleep with. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to judge you because I've been judged before and it's not fun. I will, however, judge you if you are pushing these woke gender ideologies onto children. That is when I, as a mother, am entitled to step in and make my presence known. So, now that we've got that clear, Tucker Carlson apparently drops the mother load of all. That sounded really gross. Let's start over. Tucker Carlson drops a massive bombshell. Oh my. Did I recover okay from that one? Good morning, everybody. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. No. When they resort to insults, you know you got them. You know you've won. When they start calling you a bigot, all you have to do is hold a mirror up in front of their face and say, you're the bigot who cannot handle or tolerate people that have differences of opinions than you do. That is a fascist. So they don't like it when you call them. I just so happen to think it's fun. It's absolutely fun. Sean James, hello, everybody. Hello. Good morning, Damien. Good morning. DJ, hello. Dennis, thank you. It's a banner, actually. I got that from the Far Beyond Driven tour in 1995. Yeah. From the tour when they came to Cleveland. Well, Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. Cleveland. They're just going to say Cleveland. So, Tucker Carlson, the Twitter files. I hope you guys are following me on Twitter. It is at ReactsJen. Make sure you're following me there on Twitter. I don't have Instagram anymore. I only have Patreon, Twitter, and yeah. So make sure you guys are following me on Twitter because I'm on there a lot and I like to argue with leftists. It's lots of fun for me. And do I have them on backwards? No. All right. Are you guys ready? Keep in mind, keep in mind that it can and it will get worse than Joe Biden. Just keep that in mind. Let's do this.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. You may have found yourself wondering recently, as the world slides closer to nuclear annihilation than any time in human history, why exactly are we at war with Russia? It seems like there's a pretty significant downside to this particular foreign policy decision, starting with economic collapse and ending potentially with extinction. So is there a good reason we're doing it? So many innocent young people have been killed. So many hundreds of billions of dollars have been wasted, some of them from the U.S. Treasury. So what's the point? Are we really doing this so the Biden family can repay its debts to the oligarchs who financed their beach house in Rehoboth?
Hold on. All right, now I'm not going to pause this a lot. I think Tucker Carlson hits on a lot here. Are we really going to have to go through all this? So yes, Tucker, yes. We're all going to have to suffer through higher gas prices, higher utility bills, grocery bills that are unaffordable, unattainable for most of us, so that Joe Biden can keep his secrets and of his crimes going. Nobody seemingly remembers. Thank you, Tawaka. Nobody seemingly remembers how Joe Biden diddled his daughter. I remember. All right, back to Tucker. Truth-telling Tucker.
We're doing it so our government can continue to lie about its illicit biolabs in Eastern Europe? So that flabby losers like Toria Nuland and Tony Blinken can feel like they're doing something important with their sad, empty lives? Really? Honestly, there's got to be a better reason for waging this, the most pointless war of all. What is it? Well, thankfully, we have an answer. The war against Russia, ladies and gentlemen, the war against Putin and for Ukraine is in fact a war for democracy. Watch and recall the motive.
The President has said many times we're focused on what we can do to support Ukraine's effort to fight for their democracy.
Democracy must prevail. The Ukrainian people are fighting the fight for their democracy, and in doing so, for ours as well.
You crypt keeper Nancy Pelosi. Now, you do know who her nephew is, right? Do you? Do you know that Gavin Newsom is her nephew? Do you want to know why Gavin Newsom has the biggest, well, he's got total LDE, right? He's got the smallest, biggest hard-on for Ron DeSantis and the Trumps, right? For the Trumps. Do you want to know why? Well, who is Gavin Newsom's ex? Eric Trump's old lady. Yes. So no wonder why. It's messy, y'all. Have you ever heard that saying, you don't shit where you eat, or you don't eat where you shit? Well, I don't even remember. Whatever the case may be. Whatever the saying is. It hits a little too far from home. But here's all of these Democrats. They're fighting for their democracy. I'm so sick of hearing that word. Bull crap. More excuses, bull crap. This lady here she's a puppet, and I feel terrible. But we'll all see it. We all see it.
We're focused on what we can do to support Ukraine's effort to fight for their democracy.
Democracy must prevail. The Ukrainian people are fighting the fight for their democracy, and in doing so, for ours as well.
You insider trading, wretched, evil creature.
Assisting and helping Ukraine win this fight for democracy and freedom.
And of course, Ukrainian President Zelensky understands that what's
Gavin
at stake
Newsom
in
is a
Ukraine
governor of
is bigger
California.
than just his nation. It is literally a battle for freedom and democracy themselves.
Oh, shut up, Dick. That's his name. Just so you know. I'm not calling. Am I?
They are showing the world what an existential fight for democracy looks like.
President Zelensky and the Ukrainians have changed the course of history for the better, and we unequivocally are with the Ukrainian people in their fight to remain a sovereign democracy.
Hold on a second here. Hold on a second. Now, I said I wasn't going to pause Tucker a lot, but these fools definitely deserve it. Now, Ukraine gets into an argument with Russia, right? Russia. Knowing damn well they cannot defeat Russia, Mother Russia, by themselves, right? Well, I wouldn't see it as this big shady thing if Joe Biden and Hunter, had those business dealings with Burisma and the Ukrainians. So, of course, anything and everything. $40 million in aid to Ukraine. That's just the first round. It was upwards of 500 million, if not more by now. And anything and everything that Mr. Zelensky asked for, he received from the Bidens. From our money. Who cares about any American who is struggling today? Any veterans, just any American in general. Who cares about you? We need to send all of your money, not the government's money, ours, over to Ukraine, because if I don't, I'm being Biden right now. If I don't, he's going to release those 17 recordings on these shady business dealings that we have there. Makes a lot of sense. Russia is, they ain't going to beat them. Russia allied with China, allied with North Korea. We don't need to be doing this to piss off Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, or Kim Jong-un. We would be doomed, wiped off the map. Thank you very much, Joe Biden, you dick. All right, that's all I have to say. Well, until I have to do that reactor stuff again.
Unequivocally with the Ukrainian people to remain a democracy. It's a bipartisan view. Democracy must prevail. You just heard noted democracy expert Nancy Pelosi say, the daughter of the mobbed-up mayor of Baltimore. As Pelosi puts it, the Ukrainian people are fighting the fight for their democracy and for ours as well. That's right, for ours as well. Without Ukrainian democracy, in other words, we can have no democracy here. If the Ukrainians aren't free, neither are we. We must make sure they can vote in Kiev so we can continue to vote in Kansas City. It's really that simple. And yet tonight, we regret to tell you that we have a problem. It looks like they're not going to be able to vote in Kiev anymore. And no, for once, it's not Putin's fault. Democracy in Ukraine seems to be suspended by the world's foremost democracy advocate himself, Field Marshal Zelensky. Watch this.
Чи будуть в Україні наступного року вибори?
Це ж питання глобальне. І якщо ми переможемо, то будуть. Значить, не буде військового часу, не буде війни. А вибори повинні проходити у мирний час, коли немає війни, згідно законодавства.
Oh, wait a second here. Hold on. I know what Tucker's going to say. Tucker's going to say, wait a minute. So during wartime, there's not going to be any voting, but if we win, then we'll let you vote. Make sure you win, y'all, so you can vote. Not that a lot of you have already died for this bullcrap mission that we're on, both in Ukraine and Russia. And what's next? We're going to be sending, mark my words, we're going to be sending American troops over there. And then guess what happens? Bend over and kiss your sorry asses goodbye. We will be dead, because that is something that Putin is going to take very seriously, and an attack on him. And he's just going to go boop, and we're going to be wiped off the face of the planet. This is outrageous. This is outrageous that, well, I'm sorry, you can't vote right now unless we win. Zelensky is a snake. I knew it from get-go. I'm sorry, you guys, I have this ability to read people, and I knew it from rip. That dude is a jerk-off. All right, back to Tucker.
So when you have an election, well, he says if we win, we'll let people vote. Otherwise, no. You vote when we feel like it, because ultimately we're completely in charge and make all the rules. Your job is to obey or be punished. That's our version of self-government. Self means me. I'm the government. Now, that's not just any autocrat. That's our chief ally in the war for democracy. This is the guy who just announced he's likely to cancel next year's elections. So you've got to wonder what the Biden administration thinks of this. We can't possibly continue to support Zelensky, that guy, after he said that, can we? Because in a clip less than 30 seconds long, he just blew up our entire rationale for supporting his side in the war. So we can't support him. Oh, of course we can. And we will. Here's Joe Biden from yesterday reaffirming America's unequivocal support for Ukraine.
Okay, so Joe Biden, again, Anything and everything that Ukraine needs, we will give them. No, Joe, you're sitting pretty. I don't see none of the politicians going, you know, maybe we shouldn't take from the American people. Maybe we could give them some of our millions of dollars. Well, they don't want to redistribute their wealth over to Ukraine. They don't want to send their money over to Ukraine. But you better work 40 plus hours a week and break your back and your neck because your tax dollars, who gives a shit about our education system or the homelessness that we have here or people that have terminal illnesses that don't have health insurance that are getting the shaft? Oh, well, sorry, die. We're going to send your hard-earned tax dollars over to Ukraine. Oh, well, tough titty. But the politicians will never fork over their money. What the hell? No. Go on, Joe. Go on. How many compounds do you how many are we up to today? How many do you got, Obama? Oh, you have a castle? Oh, shit. Well, you're sitting pretty on Martha's Vineyard? Damn, you're really oppressed, aren't you? Get out of here. I'm sick and tired of these politicians getting rich over it's blood money. And I'm over it. And I'm sick of it. And this guy is a freaking clown. Joe Biden, you are a clown.
No matter what happened in Russia, we, the United States, will continue to support Ukraine's defense and its sovereignty and its territorial integrity.
So to recap, we are currently fighting a war for democracy on behalf of a leader who just casually announced he's happy to end democracy. And our democracy-supporting leaders have no problem with that. In fact, they're strongly for it. Shocked? You shouldn't be. Of course they're for it. You should have seen this coming.
I did.
Wars for democracy always cancel democracy in the process. That's why our leaders love them. And they all do it, even the virtuous leaders. Abraham Lincoln suspended habeas corpus. The British government under Winston Churchill threw an entire opposition party into prison and let them rot for the duration, in some cases with their families. So in a war for democracy, you can do anything. Imagine what a man might do who has fewer principles. If that man, say, ran Ukraine, he might seize churches, arrest priests, ban all criticism of himself, disappear his political opponents. And that's happening. Just last month, Zelensky threw a man called Gonzalo Lira into prison indefinitely for the crime of daring to write about the Ukrainian government in unflattering ways.
What's up, Orphan Monkey?
Now, what's interesting, what separates this from other such cases, is that Lira is an American citizen. So Joe Biden, who is quite a bit of SWAT, as they say in Ukraine, could have freed Gonzalo Lira within hours.
Yeah, he could have.
But he didn't. He didn't want to. He didn't say a word about it. He remains in prison tonight.
I didn't know that. Did y'all know that? I didn't know that. Didn't know that at all. But Putin's this bad guy. Putin. Ew, focus on Putin. He's bad. Bad. We're not bad. Putin is. Trump, oh my. Don't look at us. We're the good guys. We're fighting for democracy. You know who else wants war, you guys? BlackRock. The people that want to silence this man have stake in Fox News and CNN, MSNBC, Disney, all of these media outlets. BlackRock owns a massive stake. Vanguard as well. What war sells. War keeps you focused. We saw that on the video where James O'Keefe exposed the dude from BlackRock. And he said that. It's marketable. We got people glued. What's going on in Ukraine? Oh, these poor Ukrainians. I stand with Ukraine. You're being fooled is what you're being. This is a money-making scheme, and people they don't give a shit if people die in the process. And if you oppose them, off to prison you go. But they ain't going to prison for the crimes that they commit. Oh, no. Your voice is the ultimate weapon. Back to Tucker. I love this man.
So that makes you wonder, what's the real motive here? When normal people see war, they see death and destruction, sadness and suffering. But that's not what demagogues see. They understand it differently. They know that war means power, mostly for them. During wartime, everything they do can be justified. War is the gravest of all emergencies. Imagine the COVID lockdowns times 1,000 plus drones. Once war breaks out, politicians become gods with the power of life and death.
Yep.
So in a peaceful democracy, you have to debate your political opponents in public, and that's tiresome. But in a war for democracy, you can just throw them in jail or have them executed. You can see that many in Washington are looking forward to that moment. And that may be why they so fervently support Joe Biden, even many Republicans, against a potential opponent, the only opponent who opposes the war in Ukraine. If you were to end the war, their power would evaporate. Last week, a whistleblower produced WhatsApp messages from Hunter Biden, proving that, at the very least, his father knew about his influence peddling businesses abroad and probably participated in them. Quote, "I'm sitting here with my father," Hunter Biden wrote to his Chinese partners, demanding money. As much as anything reported about the Bidens over the last several years, this was the smoking gun. There it is, right there, in the message. That would have been enough to cripple a normal president. It would have been more than enough to keep a normal president from running for office again. But it had virtually no effect on Joe Biden. Most media outlets ignored it completely or tried to spin Biden's relationship with his son as some kind of moral victory. Quote, "The real meaning of the Hunter Biden saga, as I see it," wrote Nick Kristof of the New York Times, "isn't about presidential corruption, but is about how widespread addiction is and about how a determined parent with unconditional love can sometimes reel a child back." He actually wrote that.
All right, bullshit. I suffered with addiction. Do you think my mother was willing to break laws for me? No. No, in fact, the opposite. Her ass was turning my ass in. Well, my dad did. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me, because if you really love your child, that is what you will do. It's called tough love. And this is the chief enabler, Mr. Biden, that sees everybody, and this is why I can't, well, this is one of the many reasons why I can't stand the fool. Everybody else with addiction are just animals and criminals, especially if your skin is dark. We're going to throw you in prison. Doesn't matter. Don't even ask for treatment. You're going to prison. But if it's Hunter Biden, boo-hoo, wah-wah, that's my son. He just made a mistake. Yeah, imagine if this was Donald Trump, who had messages like this with the Chinese Communist Party. Imagine if this was Donald Trump or Eric. What would happen? What would happen? Yeah, absolute just chaos would happen. Even the cackling hens on The View. Oh, that's just the love that the father has for his addicted son. He got him through his addiction. Okay. BlackRock also owns stake in ABC. So, of course, they're controlling this narrative. Every narrative that is pushed, whether it be race baiting to divide Americans, left versus right, they play a massive role in dividing us so that we can't stand up against them, because if we are busy fighting amongst one another, are we really going to stand up against them? Nope, because they already have their puppets on the left, the right already has their puppets on the right, and y'all are too busy focused on that instead of saying, whoa, we need to put aside those differences and demand differently and demand better for all of us, including for our children in the future. But they're too busy experimenting on kids, sterilizing kids, and making this about, oh, if you don't let your kid transition, then you're gonna have you're gonna be okay with having a dead daughter instead of an alive son, or vice versa. Bullshit, 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 and even more bullshit. No child should transition. None. Because this is why I'm having Scott Nugent come on. The complications nearly took Scott's life more than once. The complications, that's just the big complication. Not to mention the one that had him crippled over in pain. I'll let Scott tell you, because it is horrendous. I don't want any child to go through that. No, I don't. And more often than not, they do. I'm sick and tired of being lied to and being divided. If we don't get our shit together now, guess what's going to happen? Again, buy America. This is not America where we're living right now. We're living under communism, and it's bullshit. And I'm sick and tired of it. And if you are, then put aside your differences, if you don't like gay people, please, okay, then don't like the ones who are targeting kids. But do not discount all of them as the ones that they all target kids because they're gay. No, they don't. And that is why I went to Pride, to show you guys that. There are gays and lesbians out there that they see that this is wrong and they speak up against it. Please put aside your differences. I'm begging you. And if we can move mountains with just our voices and our mere presence. All right, back to Tucker. Sorry, y'all.
And if you doubt it, you should know that view was common. Here's the take from ABC.
The Hunter Biden story,
this bitch,
the scandal, the this, the that, it's also the story of a father's love. And Joe Biden has never and will never give up on his son Hunter, and will never treat him lesser than. And so he is a father first. Take it or leave it.
So a whistleblower produces a text message showing that Joe Biden was in the room with his son when his son was selling influence to an enemy power, the Chinese government. And ABC's take on it, Joe Biden is a father first. Take it or leave it. What accounts for a response like that? Well, that's the way you talk when you've got nothing to fear from an upcoming presidential election. You don't even bother to think of an excuse for your candidate because you don't need to. Your country has electronic voting machines. Yeah. Joe Biden got 81,282,916 votes in 2020, and you're pretty sure he can do it again. In fact, you know he can. You're not worried. But actually, they should be a little worried. The people who control Joe Biden, Susan Rice, and the rest, know they can continue to run our government, writing the press releases, formulating the policies, and they can do it effectively forever, as long as Joe Biden gets dressed in the morning. And of course, that's their strong preference. These are fervent opponents of change. But the one thing these people cannot control is aging. Joe Biden is old. He's 80 now. He will be 85 at the end of the next term. People imagine that old age is a long, predictable progression from acuity to permanent unconsciousness. But often that's not at all how it actually works. When old people start to slide, they tend to slide fast. Joe Biden has begun that descent. Here he was yesterday.
And here's what she wrote to me, and I quote,
"Oh boy.
You can imagine my joy. She called them right away, and the next day they sent someone out to survey her yard. As Beth wrote, this is the best thing that's happened to rural America since the Rural Electrification Act brought electricity to farms in the 30s and 40s. End of quote."
End of quote. You weren't supposed to hear that. Joe Biden read the stage directions out loud.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, the end of quote, Joe. You're not anymore. Shame on every one of these asshats who keep putting him on a stage in front of a camera. My God, I'm not the smartest woman on this planet, nor do I ever claim to be. But geez, oh Pete, y'all, this is abuse anymore. But, you know, I used to feel sorry for Joe. I did. I was like, man, because I like old people. I do. I enjoy their presence because they've seen everything. But that effer, I feel no sympathy for at all. Because you are a shady, evil, conniving criminal who is the real racist in this country. And that is why they have made Donald Trump out to be something that he is not. He could be on tape telling everybody that, well, Europeans, like I brought up yesterday, Europeans are going to be vastly outnumbered by these colored people if we don't get this under wraps and get them under control right now. The racist shit that he says, the eulogy that he did for the Klan, that's okay. It wasn't Donald Trump, so that we're just going to look past all of that. Marriages between a man and a woman. And now all of a sudden, again, motorboating tranny titties in the Rose Garden. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. I'm done. I'm done entertaining the lies. I am done with The View, and they're this holier than thou, the Bidens. You know what? Up yours, ladies. Well, I can't even call you that because you're a bunch of cackling hens. Sorry excuses for a human beings is that's what every woman on that panel is. Every one of them. Shame on you all. Ooh, and if anybody believes anything from the Democratic National Party, you need a serious reality check. And the Republicans, guess what? They ain't so great themselves either.
That's like eating the garnish that comes with your entree. You're supposed to know not to do that. Joe Biden no longer does. In a year or two, he will be gone completely, and there will be no hiding it. At that point, the Democratic Party will face a secession problem. If Joe Biden is reelected next year and then forced to leave office during his term due to disability or death, that means Kamala Harris will become president of the United States.
Oh, Jesus
and nobody
Christ.
wants that.
Sorry, Lord, for using your name in vain.
In real life, nobody likes Kamala Harris. That's not an attack on her. In fact, it's possible to feel pity for someone who's so universally reviled.
I don't.
It is instead an observation of unchanging physical reality like gravity or photosynthesis. Nobody wants Kamala Harris to be president. No one will benefit if she becomes president. So logic suggests there's going to be a change. It's going to have to be somebody else.
Here it is, y'all. Here's the mega bombshell that if this happens, I love you all, but I literally will break laws in order to protect my land and my family. Know that. If this happens, I suggest you guys arm yourselves and tell the government to go F themselves when they come to try to take away your guns. Don't do it. Do not let them bribe you with money either. Well, we're going to buy back your guns. No, the fuck you're not. Sorry, not sorry. These are mine. I bought them. They're my property. You ain't touching my guns, bitch. That's how you have to play that. Now, Kamala Harris has, you know what her approval rating is, you guys? It's in the negative. Negative! What? So if something happens to Joe Biden tomorrow, he'll probably live to see like 120, knowing our luck. Thank you, Cinnamon Magic. I love you, bud. All right. So he'll live to see like 120, no doubt in my mind, because he's probably on adrenochrome or whatever the fuck it is that he's eating stem cells of babies. Probably gets them right from Planned Parenthood's dumpster. So something happens to Joe Biden. Kamala Harris steps in and acts as our president. Oh my. With a negative approval rating. She's in the red, homies. The red. Do you know that this bitch, oh my God, let's tell some truths today. Kamala Harris was a district prosecutor, right, in San Francisco. She had the highest conviction rate, which is back in that day. That is how we elected our judges and our prosecutors and our district attorneys. Because if we see, especially during an election year, their conviction rates skyrocket. Nobody better commit a crime during an election year. We all knew that. Because if you did, then those prosecutors, district attorneys, and judges were going to set an example of you because their conviction rates needed to be in the high 90th percentile. Okay? So that's how we elected our judges, prosecutors, and district attorneys back then when, the government, they actually protected us law-abiding citizens from the people that wreak havoc. It has now flipped because Soros got his dirty little money in there. Okay? Soros, who is his son, is also married to Nancy Pelosi's daughter. You see the coincidence here yet? Are you seeing it? Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. Not a good coincidence either. So, Kamala Harris, she was boasting and bragging how she put all of these evil, just diabolical marijuana smokers in prison, right? And then she admits to smoking it herself. I've smoked some marijuana, but bitch, you put all kinds of black people, and you want to now say, I want to support the Minnesota Freedom Fund that bails out all of these BLM and Antifa rioters because you feel bad? Because you put all these black folks in prison for weed? to get free labor out of them? Because you guys, the most you're going to make here in Ohio is $80 a month. That's it. That is the top of the top. The people who are lifers get those jobs. You don't get those jobs in prison. You're making like $18 a month. That's it. So she's going to get free cheap labor for near free labor for her state. She's going to brag and boast about convicting all of these weed people when she does it herself. And how does she get into politics again? Oh, that's right. Willie Brown. She slobs on his knob a little bit to get into politics. She had an affair with a married man. Had what? How long, Kamala? How long did you have an affair with Willie Brown, who was married? And then you have the audacity to shit on Trump? Oh, morally speaking, bitch, you're bankrupt as they come. You can't say shit because you are a hypocrite. All right. That was an epic rant, y'all. Now, the bombshell of all bombshells. And this ain't going to be good. So I'm going to back it up just a little bit here. I hope I did it right.
Age is a long, predictable progression from acuity to permanent unconsciousness. But often that's not at all how it actually works. When old people start to slide, they tend to slide fast.
Thank you, Dee.
Joe Biden has begun that descent. Here he was yesterday.
And here's what she wrote to me, and I quote, "You can imagine my joy. She called them right away, and the next day they sent someone out to survey her yard. As Beth wrote, this is the best thing that's happened to rural America since the Rural Electrification Act brought electricity to farms in the 30s and 40s. End of quote."
End of quote. You weren't supposed to hear that. Joe Biden read the stage directions out loud. That's like eating the garnish that comes with your entree. You're supposed to know not to do that. Joe Biden no longer does. In a year or two, he will be gone completely, and there will be no hiding it. At that point, the Democratic Party will face a secession problem. If Joe Biden is reelected next year and then forced to leave office during his term due to disability or death, that means Kamala Harris will become president of the United States. And nobody wants that, not even her husband. In real life, nobody likes Kamala Harris. That's not an attack on her. In fact, it's possible to feel pity for someone who's so universally reviled. It is instead an observation of unchanging physical reality like gravity or photosynthesis. Nobody wants Kamala Harris to be president. No one will benefit if she becomes president. So logic suggests there's going to be a change. It's going to have to be somebody else.
Here it is.
And whoever that person is going to have to enter the race soon, before the election, after Biden drops out. Who could that person be? We don't know, obviously. This is all just guessing.
Gavin freaking Newsom.
But we do know whoever that is will have to have two essential criteria. He'll have to be as shallow, ruthless, and transactional as Joe Biden is, and he'll need to have flattery skills that are so polished and advanced they'd be considered superior even in the Saudi royal court. And there's only one man in modern America who fits that description: Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, and perhaps not coincidentally, Joe Biden's new closest friend. "I am here, Mr. President," Newsom told Biden at an event the two did together last week. "I am here as a proud American, as a proud Californian, mesmerized by not just your faith and your devotion to this country and the world we're trying to build, but by your results, by your action, by your passion, by your capacity to deliver."
Oh, my God.
"I am mesmerized by you, Joe Biden."
Uh-huh, sure.
Imagine saying that as a compliment. You couldn't do it. Few human beings could do it. But Gavin Newsom had no problem at all. Those words rolled right off his forked tongue. He never stopped smiling. So if you're looking for the leader of the coup, there he is right there.
Facts. Absolute, astonishing facts. Don't ever preach to me about the war in Ukraine. We have innocent Ukrainians, innocent Russians dying because of this bullshit war. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear anybody in support of this war, because wars are bloody and people die. Innocent women, innocent men, innocent children are killed. And they couldn't care less. So, because the politicians, Mr. Zelensky, Joe Biden, they all have these things called Secret Service and security, and they're cushy up in their mansions where they are untouchable and would never pick up a gun themselves. I don't want to hear that you support the Ukrainian war with Russia, because I do not. I do not support innocent men, women, and children being slaughtered over some bullshit propaganda that has been pushed to protect these crooked ass politicians' asses. I don't want to hear it. If you can't see through it, then we need to help Ukrainians. Do we? Do we? Would it do a bit of good? He should have never sent his people to slaughter. That's what we should be focusing on, is holding Zelensky accountable for war crimes. That is what we should be doing. Thank you, Eric. Oh my God, Eric, tell your wife thank you. Thank you so much. I love you guys too. I love everybody who can see through the lies and the bull crap that we're being forced by. Don't watch the news. Don't do it. Don't watch Fox News. Don't watch CNN. Don't watch ABC, NBC, MSNBC, none of the liberal mainstream media, because they're all under BlackRock and Vanguard. All of these woke credit score companies pushing communism. Gavin Newsom, have you seen his state? Have you? Have you seen what has happened to small business owners in California? They were told, we will support the people stealing from you because, well, everybody deserves a piece of the pie now, don't they? We're not going to prosecute people who rip you off. They could steal everything that isn't nailed down, and we're not going to prosecute them. Hell, we're even going to abolish self-defense here in California. We're going to make sure that every one of you has to buy an electric car by 2030, because we will not be selling gas cars after 2030, as if everybody could afford that. What do these politicians think, that all of us got millions in our bank account? Of course we don't. We're normal people who just want to survive and pay our bills. California. Gavin Newsom didn't put the kibosh on Scott Wiener's laws. I can't even believe that this was passed. I can't believe it. He lowered the age of sodomy victims, right? You could have a 10-year age difference and get away with it. We're not going to put you on the sex offender registry. Why would we do that? You're sodomizing kids. Just make sure it's in that 10-year span, okay? You're going to be just fine, right? California also looked at Ron DeSantis and said, that's the do not say gay bill. The whole media, they ran with it. It's the parental rights and education bill that we don't want you teachers teaching our kids this. We don't want our libraries in our schools filled with books like these. There is nowhere in that bill that says don't say gay. Yeah, they ran with that. What else did they do? Oh, yes. The creme de la creme. If you don't allow your child to transition and become a lifelong patient with gender-affirming care, we're going to take that child from you. Now, that set precedents for Washington to do the same, and then Minnesota did the same as well. Don't even think about calling your kid by the wrong pronoun they have made up this week, because if you do, we will charge you with child abuse. I'm sorry, what? Look, no. Vic, I love you. I love you, but you are a liberal and you have been force-fed these lies. Mr. Zelensky is covering up for Hunter Biden. Mr. Zelensky he got a taste of a power, what power can do, okay? It inflated his ego, so he thinks he could do whatever the F he wants. And he's got his buddy Joe Biden to back him up in everything that he does, or else he will throw him and Hunter under the bus. Please, don't do that. My American people are suffering because of this bullshit with Ukraine. My people. Not to mention the innocent women and children and the men who have died because of all of this. Please don't drink the Kool-Aid. Please don't. See it for what it really is. I don't want anybody in Ukraine to die. I don't want anybody in Russia to die. I know plenty of Russians. They're good people. They don't deserve to be ran out of their home and bombed. Neither do the Ukrainians. But guess who's stuck in the middle? The little people. Because the people in power, do you see them fighting? No, you'll never see them fighting. My son Matthew's calling me. Hi, honey. Let me call you right back. I'm streaming. All right. I'll call you when I'm done. Love you. Bye. Always, 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 always end your conversations with I love you. Did you mean to call me again? No, you butt dialed me. I still love you. End your conversations with I love you because you never know. You never know. I'm just saying. We never will see our political leaders pick up a gun and fight with us. They'll fight against us, but they'll never fight with us. Gavin Newsom, if he starts running for, I would rather vote for my tortoise than Gavin Newsom. I would trust America in the hands of my freaking tortoise than I would with Gavin Newsom. Because guess what, you guys? Every law that was just passed to protect children from this gender-affirming care bullshit, guess what? He will undo everything. California is as radicalized as they come, and I feel terrible for the people that live there and see it for what it is. I really do. I don't even know how people in California afford it. How do you afford to live there? Shit. You can take a shack and it's worth $1 million or $3 million. A studio apartment is like $4,000 a month. Just give me a closet. Oh, sorry, that's $2,500 a month. Oh, wait, what? Gas. Jesus, Pete's. I don't know how anybody survives. And if we get people like Gavin Newsom, who is Nancy Pelosi's nephew, we're screwed. That's just her way to keep her claws into politics. She needs to go. We need, thank you, Cedar Magic, right? We need term limits. Term limits. Term limits. 2 words. We need to abolish these people who have been in Congress and the Senate for how long? 40 years? Y'all stuck in the 50s, right? We need new, like Byron Donalds. We need somebody like him. We need fresh faces. We need youth, because we don't need to work. What are these people? When are they going to die? They could probably die any day. We don't need some old effer running our country. Look at Joe Biden, man. Look at the shape he's in. Karine Jean-Pierre is just a puppet. All she does is she does what she's told to do. She really does. She sits there and literally, it's sad, y'all. It really, really, really is sad. The state of California, I don't understand how anybody lives there. Look, y'all, this is why I am bringing on guests like Scott the Gays Against Groomers. I'm bringing these guys on my channel because, again, we don't care what adults do. If you want to do that and if you think that makes you happy, then best wishes to you. We don't want this pushed onto children because they don't have the capacity to make those types of decisions. And if a state, if a governor, if a senator is going to pass these laws that state either you guys roll with it or we take your child from you and do it against your wishes, against your better judgment, damn. What about the kids in the foster care system already? Most of them are lost to sex trafficking. You want to talk about that? Of course not. Of course not, because most of these politicians buy kids. Epstein Island. We still don't know about Epstein Island. We don't know who was there. We don't know how many times Bill Gates was there. We do know that Bill Gates' wife divorced him because of his visits to Epstein Island. We have real evil in this country, you guys. This is a fight between good and evil, and we cannot allow evil to prevail. So again, put your petty differences aside and band together. I urge you, I beg you, and I will not stop until we get there. Yeah, Vic, but Russia is not to blame. Please see it for what it really is. Who blew up the Nord Stream? Who did that? Who blew up Nord Stream 2? Do I have to remind you? He said it right out in the open. Joe Biden is the only person that could literally admit to crimes on videotape in front of the world and have zero repercussions from it. He could be like, I'm the one who killed Jimmy Hoffa. I got that bitch buried in my backyard in Delaware. And guess what will happen? Nothing. Nothing. I think we all see, especially the people that have been imprisoned for some bullshit, petty, nonviolent drug offense. I think that it speaks volumes that Hunter is protected. It's really sad. It's not fair. America, our justice system is supposed to be fair, and it isn't. You guys, we just had a lady in Chicago. I don't think I can show it, but all right. This lady, and I don't agree with any man putting his hands on a woman. I don't. I think it's cowardice to do so. But this woman instructed her 14-year-old to go in the car, get her gun, and shoot 2 people. 2. And the charges were dismissed. Yeah. Here, Chicago. Chicago is Hopeless. Chicago Hopeless is our new show on ABC. Tune in Fridays at 8. So, let's see the latest. I have to Google it, y'all. Google. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I typed in Google. Have you guys ever looked scary things on Google Maps? Creepy things on Google Maps? I have. It's pretty creepy. All right. Chicago mom drops charges. Who ordered son to kill man. All right. Videos. So, I don't like to bring up ABC or anything like that. But this is what, I guess this is what it has on the, okay. Prosecutors drop charges. Here. Thank you, Tawaka. You know, you guys, I'd rather you guys get the truth than be lied to. And even like news articles, you guys, we can't trust them. We can't trust him. Prosecutors dropped charges against Chicago mom, 14-year-old son in shooting of man at a hot dog stand. Cook County State Attorney Kim Fox's office dismissed the charges, citing emerging evidence less than a week after Carlisha Hood was accused of ordering her son to kill a man who punched her. No, you're not learning my location. Eat a dick. All right. Oh my God. I hate this. I can't stand this. So she dropped the charges. God bless it. I have to do this. I hate going on ABC because they're full of crap. Okay.
Her and her son. Less than 24 hours after charges were dropped against her and her son, Carlisha Hood has filed a lawsuit against the city of Chicago and the 5 officers involved in her arrest. Attorneys saying that police had all the evidence they needed from the very beginning to know that their client was not guilty of the first-degree murder charges filed against her.
Wait a second here. So you mean to tell me you're suing them after they dropped the charges? Wow, you should be singing the Hallelujah chorus right now, ma'am, that you're not going to spend the rest of your life, as well as your son's life, behind bars for all of your eternity. You're suing the cops and oh my God, the whole city of Chicago. Well, go ahead. Go right ahead, because they're too busy funneling all of their money to these illegal aliens in order to help the Chicago residents. Van Kulu. We're helping the illegal migrants, and we're also starting to ship them away because we can't handle the couple of thousand that have come up from Arizona and Texas. They need to handle them all because, Texas and Arizona can handle 22 million people. Jesus, Pete's. So she's suing fucking shit.
Flanked by her 2 attorneys, 35-year-old Carlisha Hood broke down this morning, clearly overwhelmed by the events of the last 9 days.
I just need a little time to heal and to just get my life back with my baby.
Hood was released last night from Cook County Jail following a 6-day imprisonment on charges of first-degree murder.
6 days? You took somebody's life and you only got 6 days and you're suing? So how do I get back my 3 years for a nonviolent drug offense? How do I do that? Do I sue Ohio? Because they made $143,000 for sending me up the river for 3 years. 6 days? Bitch, count your lucky stars.
And contributing to the delinquency of a minor. This after on the night of June 18th, she was involved in a verbal altercation with 32-year-old Jeremy Brown while picking up a food order at a Maxwell Street Express restaurant in West Pullman. The incident, which was captured on both the restaurant surveillance video and on a witness's cell phone, shows that argument escalating into physical violence as Brown punches Hood in the head 3 times. We stopped the video before that first punch. It is just as that happens that Hood's 14-year-old son, who was by then standing in the doorway of the restaurant, opens fire on Brown, fatally shooting him in the back.
Never in a million years would I have.
Wait a second here. In the back, because, yeah, you know what? He's hitting your mama. Go hit him with your fist. Go kick him. Throw something at him. Don't shoot the guy. Okay, I don't want to bring up race into this, but I'm going to. So Daniel Penny gets arrested for manslaughter for Jordan Neely when he's terrorizing everybody, telling everybody he's going to kill them. He kidnaps attempted kidnapping of a 7-year-old girl. He busts the face open. He punches 3 elderly people, breaking the bones in their face. But you get this kid shooting somebody in the back and the charges get dismissed? How does that work? This is how flawed our justice system is. It is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. I'm embarrassed. Now, if somebody was hitting my mother like that, I'm grabbing anything and everything to knock you out with. I don't care if I got to hit you in the head with a shovel. I'm going to hit you in the head with a shovel. Just that's what I'm going to do. Telling you in advance, don't come after my mama. But I'm not going to end your life. because you're the one that has to live with being plastered all over the news hitting a woman. But in no way, shape, or form did this man deserve to be killed. His life is gone. This is ridiculous. I'm sick and tired of this. Where's Black Lives Matter? What's up, Salty Army? Where's Black Lives Matter at? Where are they at? Where are you at? Didn't his Black Life matter? No? Oh, that's because a black kid shot him, but if it was a white kid shooting him or a cop that was white, y'all be everywhere marching and burning down shit. Where's the riots? Where's the lootings at? Oh, that's right. They're not coming because this happens in Chicago every freaking day. Every day. My goodness. Chicago, again, hopeless. Join in Chicago Hopeless on NBC Chicago. Jesus Christ, man. This is preposterous.
Imagine being brutally attacked, beaten, and then arrested.
Neither Hood nor her attorneys today addressed prosecutors' initial arguments against her, alleging that during the argument, Hood texted her son, who was waiting outside in their vehicle, to bring in a legally owned weapon she had in the glove box, inciting him to violence.
While the co-defendant was still shooting at the victim, the defendant instructed her son, the co-defendant, to continue to shoot and kill the victim.
What Hood's attorneys did address was the surveillance video, which by prosecutors' own admission, investigators had from the very beginning, and which they say demonstrates that any actions taken either by Hood or her son were in self-defense. Their lawsuit, filed this morning, accuses police officers of malicious prosecution, false arrest, and intentional infliction of emotional distress.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So wait a minute. Hold up. Well, this ain't going to apply to me because I'm, obviously. So you mean to tell me I can go commit a crime and then you can catch me on film and every stuff? Hopefully no one's life gets lost in the balance, but I could say that you're guilty of malicious prosecution? Oh, well, I think that I should hire a lawyer to file about 57 charges because let me tell you something. I've been arrested 57 times for bullshit, like driving under suspension. Like 19 of those were driving under suspensions. But anyways, do you mean to tell me you could commit crimes and then sue the cops for malicious prosecution and emotional distress? Pretty sure if you weren't flapping your gums, degrading this man, he wouldn't have punched you in the face. He told you to shut the fuck up. He told you to shut up. But you didn't. You kept flapping your gums because these women today think that they could degrade a man and there's no repercussions. Now, I don't agree. I said this in the beginning of the story. I don't agree with any man putting his hands on a woman. I wish he would have just slapped her. I mean, yeah, you deserve one of those. But he did haul off and punch her, but you had him killed. Apples to oranges. You're going to heal from a black eye or a bruise. That dude's got bullets in him, and he's now laying in the morgue. Again, apples to oranges. And Chicago, shame on you. Again, once again, protecting the criminals. My God. Everybody's guilty in this situation. Not the police, not the prosecutor, not the judge. For once, these people are guilty. Jesus, Pete's, man. What has this country come to?
You don't have to be a lawyer to appreciate and recognize that when a woman is violently attacked by a man, an unarmed woman, that she shouldn't be arrested.
In dismissing the charges yesterday, the Cook County State's Attorney's Office said only, based upon the facts, evidence, and the law, we were unable to meet our burden of proof. An investigation into the now deceased Jeremy Brown's background shows that he was a convicted felon with several domestic battery charges against him. As for the lawsuit, the city of Chicago will only say that they will review it upon receipt.
Wait a minute. Jordan Neely was a convicted felon. He was dangerous. He was guilty of aggravated assaults, and they just let him right out. But this is a martyr? This guy's a martyr? This woman and this woman and her son are martyrs? Wait a minute. Because why? Because if look at the Jordan Neely, Daniel Penny case. Okay, I'm going to say it. If this woman and her son were white, this would be flipped. There would be mass lootings, shit getting burnt down. There would be riots in the streets. BLM would be like, we're back, motherfuckers. Can we get some money? Right? That's exactly what this is. This is exactly... They should have never dropped those charges. Whatever happened to mutual combat? Whatever happened to mutual combat? Because look, I can recall a time when I got into a fight with a girl. She was running her mouth and I punched her in the face because she came to me looking for a fight and she called the police on me. And guess what happened? Guess what happened? They said it was mutual combat. If one of you guys don't admit to these charges, we're going to arrest both of you or we're just going to go away. But this bitch wanted me arrested because she was flapping her gums, come to me with wanting a fight. I punched her in the mouth and I didn't go to jail because she came looking for a fight. They was going to arrest both of us, but I was like, this bitch came to me to want to fight. They're like, well, if you came wanting to fight this girl and she beat your ass, what do you want us to do? You had intent. And by dismissing this case, what does that show? What does that show? That shows that we're not going to protect you law-abiding citizens anymore. We're not going to do it. In this case, there are no law-abiding citizens. None. This woman is not innocent at all. He told her to shut up. He did. He warned her several times. Quit it, lady. Stop talking like that to me. She wouldn't do it. She wouldn't do it because nobody has any respect for one another these days, which really sucks. And I don't like to see that. I don't want people killed though. I think that's wrong. People, especially in Chicago, don't value anybody's life, but they're going to rock BLM gear. But you prove time and time again that 0 lives matter to you. None. Doesn't matter what they look like. If they talk shit to you, they punch you, nobody fights with their fist anymore. They pull out guns. And Chicago, just so you know, has the strictest gun laws in America. One of the strictest gun laws in America, the gun control laws in America. Yet, if they have the strictest gun control in America, shouldn't that curb the gun violence? Oh, wait, it doesn't? I think we've seen about 90 people get shot from Memorial Day till now. We had Memorial Day, Juneteenth celebration. We had all sorts of people shooting one another. The gun control laws don't work because it's not the guns killing the people, it's the people killing the people. We have a people problem, not a gun problem. The guns cannot animate themselves and take people out. When have you ever seen a gun on trial for murder? Never, because it takes a human to animate and pull the trigger. Thank you, Meta. Rule from the shadows, the psychology of power. Yeah. Did you guys see Joey Biden give me your guns? I don't have any, so I can't give you my guns, but I only got these guns. That's it. We have a people problem in America. We don't have a gun problem. We have a people problem. No lives matter anymore. They don't. Human beings don't treat each other like such. They see no value when they see another person in front of them. If somebody could kill you in cold blood, they don't value your life whatsoever. Your life does not matter as much as theirs does. And that's really sad. It's really sad that we have gotten to the point where we're putting the blame on everything else but the people involved. That is the worst lack of accountability case I've ever seen, has been lately in America. Chicago, what the hell? Chicago, Illinois in general, passed the Safety Act. Okay? The Safety Act was passed in the dead of the night Seriously. It was like 1,000 pages. There was all sorts of crap in here. And it basically states you can commit crimes such as burglary, aggravated assault. You can even kill somebody with your drugs. And you're going to not be held in jail because they claimed that bail was racist. Excuse me? Excuse me? Bail is racist? Since when? When is bail racist? How about this? Don't commit the crimes and you won't have to worry about going in front of a judge or having bail money. I'm just saying, it's pretty simple. Thank you, Juan. It's one N, just one. One N, Jen. I didn't want to correct you before, but now when I see it, so sorry, it irritates me a little bit. I can't lie. I'm sorry. So you guys, I really appreciate you guys coming. Now, we had a lot of people here today. I appreciate you. Thank you. On a, what is it, Wednesday? It's hump day, y'all. It's hump day. We only have 2 more days, or what is it, 2 more days here in June? Yeah. June. And here's the last thing I'll say because I have to get with Adam Francisco live at noon. June is also PTSD Awareness Month, but as somebody who suffers from PTSD and has for a long time, I didn't even know that. I had no clue. It sucks. It was completely overshadowed by sexuality. Now, I don't care. Again, I don't care who you screw. It doesn't matter. As long as you don't diddle with kids, you and I will be just fine. As long as you're respectful, I will reciprocate. But to say that somebody's sexuality matters more than helping people deal and get over their traumas, which with PTSD, you're never going to get over it. It's never going away. It's an unfortunate diagnosis that is lifelong and everlasting. You just have to learn how to deal with it. And I feel like it's a shame that we would celebrate people wanting to screw each other over the atrocities that literally account for over 40 veterans a day killing themselves. It's now up to 40. It was 22 a day, but that number has since increased. It's sad that we dedicated a whole month to sexuality and not raising awareness for human trafficking, fentanyl deaths. It trumped everything. Again, I don't care who you choose to sleep with. That is not everything about you. That is not your whole identity. And if you allow that to happen, you're selling yourself short. You really are. Because, see, again, I don't care who you sleep with. I want to know if I could depend on you if I need you. I want to know you're going to be a good shoulder to cry on. I want to know, can I gossip with you and trust you not to go and stick a knife in my back and blabble, oh, guess what Jen said? Can I trust you not to steal from me? Can I trust that if you need help, I'm going to help you, but you're not going to mistake my kindness for a weakness? Can I trust you that you'll tell me the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you, God. Can I trust that you won't cheat on me and bring me home an STD? That is character, honesty, loyalty, faithfulness, dependability. And we have since let sexuality trump all of that and make up complete identities because of that. That's just a small part of who you are. Why are you allowing it to rule who you are and define you? Who I decide to screw does not define me. It's just a part of me. And it's nobody's business. Right? I don't want to I don't want to learn about. I don't want to know who you screw. I don't care. Unless you screw with kids, man. Then me and you are going to have the ultimate problem. Oh, Saros Mulvaney 2024. I think the world's sick of Dylan Mulvaney. I think he feels it. I do. And I'm grateful that people are finally not scared of the, you're a bigot, you're a transphobe. Am I though? Or are you the bigot? Because you can't accept that I think the dude's a grifter and he played everybody. Yeah. I'm sick of the leftist trigger words. You guys don't stand for them. Don't allow people to use and scare you from talking and voicing your opinion. If they call you the fascist or the bigot because you oppose them or you don't have the same morals, values, and beliefs as they do, quickly remind them that they literally are meeting the definition of fascist and bigot. Especially Antifa. What did you expect from a bunch of kids that, you know, literally came from mom's basement, literally had no struggles in their life, right? This group was formed out of the mama and daddy's basements with no struggles in their life. And they claim everybody that is against the woke ideologies of the world, the leftist ideologies, the radical left, they're the fascists. You're the fascist if you don't want to mutilate your kid. You're the fascist if you don't want to call your kid by the pronoun that they picked this week. These, I, those, them, they, them. Ghost, dog, hawk. What? I'm the fascist? Or are you the fascist that you attack people with pepper spray, with whatever weapons that you have if they oppose you or stand up? Or they're the ultimate enemy of Antifa, straight white Christian male. You're the devil, y'all. My goodness. Stand up. Don't be afraid. Stand up. Don't let them silence you. I'm going to get going, you guys. Thank you all for joining me. This was a live stream that was like, holy shit, y'all are here. Lots of you, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you wanting the truth, and we will bring it to you as long as we're allowed to. I'm also on Rumble, so make sure you guys are following me on Rumble and Twitter. Twitter, Rumble. Twitter, Rumble. Same name. It's ReactsGen, at ReactsGen on Twitter, and JustJenReacts on Rumble. All right, y'all. I'll be back at noon with Adam Francisco. See you guys. Thank you again. Thank you guys for all your supers, by the way. That was insane. Thank you.